Welcome for everybody. We are going to start this 3 hours relay as a GCC part in terms of time zone for this AI and combustion 24-hour relay. I think as Debo say, he keep calling it a movement. It's not an event. It's not an online. It's a movement. And why it's movement? Because I think we are in the midway of deciding what's good for humanity and what's going to be worse for humanity. And this is with the democratization of the AI. This is going to be like every individual contribution. Every time we interact with an AI agent, we either teach them good behavior or we teach them bad behavior.
Yes.
And here, I think this is the main battle over here on what sort of ethics, what sort of behavior that we are going to implant on those AI agents as they deal with many people. Our thematic pillars today for the 3 hours is going to be about harmony across systems, and basically, the AI contests with the natural ecosystem, social system, technological networks, and all this stuff. And we have a great mind, Miss Alia here is going to talk about interesting stuff. We're talking about education for co-flourishing, and we see the honorary advisor, Mr. Walied Albasheer, has been calling many initiatives in this regard. We've got trust and transparency and accountability. We've got Dr. Fadi, who's specialized in governance, and he's been, supporting like ministers and others regarding, how to match governance and transparency along with technology. And we have got Ma in innovation, and we'll keep it as a surprise. If anybody went through the website, he will know what is Ma in terms of Japanese culture. And since we are putting this as a US Pavilion in Expo 2025 in Japan, and then the cultural wisdom and the global equity and the regenerative AI economies. So I will give the stage right now to Honorable Walied Albasheer to just give us, a brief, like heart-to-heart speech about technology. Mr. Walied Albasheer, he's been working with Saudi Airlines, one of the earlier guys who work in technology, travel booking and stuff like that. He's been responsible of opening 150 stations for Saudi Airlines over his terms of with them, and he's been also one of the main pillars on launching Al Fursan loyalty program. He's been also involved in many other initiatives, in terms of Hajj and Umrah and handling pilgrims, processes and operations. He's been also, advising a lot of family offices and powerhouses. And mainly, he leads a think tank in Saudi Arabia now called Tawasul, which has hundreds of top leaders in every sort of industry in Saudi. Mr. Walied, the floor is yours right now.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer Walied. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I want to thank Brother Walied for inviting me to be part of your think tank today on Japan Expo 2025. Especially Saudi Arabia will be hosting World Expo 2030, inshallah, plus the World Cup 2034, the Winter Olympic Games. And when it comes to technology, I lived how it started during my college years in Florida, about programming on Fortran, COBOL, and you remember with all those punch cards. So how technology evolved over the years is really amazing. As our friend he said, now they know how we think and they do the coding. However, just I want to take you through a little bit of my history with technology as being a member of IATA agency program in Geneva, Area 1, in Singapore, Area 3, in Montreal and Miami, Area 1. The most sophisticated industry in the globe is actually the airline business because it have so much data and information and on the second and billions of travelers they travel around the globe as well as there is a lot of like emergencies, cancellation, delays. So the whole entire industry, maybe it was one of the pioneers to invest heavily in technology. And I remember when we started back in 1986, airlines used to have their own standalone system from manual to started early automation till airlines started to merge together and the global distribution system started to emerge. Started with American Airlines Sabre system, then followed by Galileo, the British consortium with the 9 airlines from Europe. Amadeus started the French carrier and Abacus in the Far East and so on. So actually we lived that industry and we were part of that working group to automate the travel industry and also to introduce the bank settlement plan, which processes billions of dollars, in airline sales and proceed. So it's a complete machinery system that is guided and managed by technology. Otherwise, airlines or IATA cannot perform their business as you know. Till the system evolved, now you can see internet booking engine. You have some great platform like now Travelocity, booking.com, and so on, smart booking technology. And there still will be much more technology that will evolve with AI, you know. So coming from that background and that industry, really it was always a passion for me to learn how to automate that industry, plus the payment, the sales, the tickets, even, now the payment through fintech technology. Like IATA now, they have something called new distribution capabilities in DCs with IATA Financial Payment Gateway that is almost endorsed, approved by all global countries' central banks, and all booking could be made in second. Payment and settlement goes to the airline as well in second. So that show you how much the industry evolved. Now, when we are talking about, let me talk about Saudi Arabia. Thanks to our Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he's a frontier, he's a visionary, and he adopted Vision 2030 And one of the key pillars of the Vision 2030 is adopting innovation and digital economy, digital government, e-commerce, etc. So currently, Saudi Arabia actually developed a very good ecosystem for startup, accelerator, incubator, and there is now we have one of the world biggest technology event like LEAP or BIBAN with Munshaat, the SME department, and there is billions of dollars. Saudi Arabia is already invested, and it will also continue to invest because we believe that innovation is the way forward for digital economy. And last about maybe 3 weeks ago, Saudi Arabia PIF Public Investment Fund launched human AI platform whereby it sees that we have to also have our own privacy, our own culture, our own unique product. So, so simultaneously, I've been working with King Abdulaziz University on the first national innovation conference, whereby we will bring 30 universities. And now we have a new authority called RDIA, Radia, which is in charge of research, development, and innovation, and how to convert research from research center throughout the 30 universities from IP, I call it, to GDP, because now the globe is investing in technology. The return is faster than investing in any industry. Like now Aramco, for example, and other agencies or government companies, semi-government companies, whatever, institutional fund, venture capitalist fund, angel investor, they are all seeing the potential of investing in AI technology. For example, like ChatGPT or human, maybe the investment is about 10 billion, but the future valuation is going to exceed $300 billion. So that's really spontaneous, scale and growth. And this is where we see in Saudi Arabia the future. During May, when President Trump visited Saudi Arabia, the PIF launched with NVIDIA and with other technological companies to train 1 million Saudi citizens on AI and how to live the new generation of AI and future. So there is going to be a lot of need, what I see, for startup to complete the ecosystem. And almost every government agency now have a KPI to achieve with regard to innovation. Now, all companies as well, they have an innovation center, whether they are government or corporate or whatever college or university. So what we see here is that AI will take over, whether in companies, startup companies like medical tech companies, agri-tech, health tech, etc. And we are also launching an initiative to make a competition among 400 medical societies to take the best innovation out of those research centers and come up with future medical solution. And this we are doing it jointly, me and engineer Walied. We developed a company called Basira in Kyoto. So what we aim is that we bring health technologies that will help in medical checkup and patient record and surgeries like heart surgery, which Saudi Arabia already made last month using robotics for heart surgery, King Faisal Hospital. There is going to be a lot of innovation, and we want to be part of that change as we been through other industry. Anyways, I really appreciate Mr. Walied invitation for me to be here with you today, and I look forward to be part of this movement, as Waleed said, and welcome you to Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Mr. Waleed, and thank you, everybody. I hope I didn't take much of your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raid. And I'll just want to reflect on one point. During my everyday engagement with Mr. Raid, I learn new stuff every day. And unfortunately, Mr. Wright, he lost his sight 2 years ago or a couple of times ago, but he never lost the vision. He never lost the intuition. And he's been, like, as of today, sort of encouraging everybody to use, new technology, right, from his experience in travel industry in Tusa from the 80s, and then taking it together till today. And coincidentally, his group in Saudi is called Basira Group, and Basira in English is like intuitive. That was a very interesting coincidence. So, Mr. Wright, before you leave, could you reflect on how technology could help people with special needs, whether it's like vision impairment or whatever, and how is it helping you today, like right from ChatGPT and whatever, and what could this be impactful to many people globally who have achieved such tools or they haven't yet?
Well, thank you for mentioning that, Mr. Waleed. And actually, that's why I call it Basira. Basira means it's the insights and the visionary, And actually, I can see through technology and AI, it's going to assist a lot of disabled persons. Like for me, I lost almost all my vision. So I use a lot of ChatGPT, and doing research and doing proposals and helping me to manage, control my various business, because I also organize business intelligence conferences. So I want to check the best practices around the globe, let's say in cyber security, in environment protection, in smart cities, and all future technology. So this really enabled me. What we used to do a research, like maybe take us 3-6 months to research for each conference on world best practices. Now it take me less than 3 hours to come up with the best practices and the best concept or format to organize that. So in essence, I believe technology, will assist a lot of disabled persons, and disability is not disability in vision, it's the disability in minds, or people don't really have a passion. And maybe let's pray that through AI, now if it is being used properly by educators, we can influence a lot of youth, and especially the youngsters. I hope really there will be some census control on the content, because at the same time I can see a lot of negative content that the youth could be influenced negatively, while we can influence them positively. I have my 6 year, 7 year old, my granddaughter. Now with AI, she does a full presentation. She developed her own character like Disney World, and she add music, graphics, content, and she is making a series, of that her love story she's making. So this will enable the youth, but only we need the right, really technology platform, mentoring, teaching for our youth to foster creativity.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Wright. It was really inspiring, and you never fail to inspire me on every day. Yani, mashallah. We really get inspired from your vision, from your dedication, from your silentness, and really glad to have you here. Thank you very much, Mr. Wright.
Thank you, and thank you to everybody. And we look forward to working together for the future of AI.
Great.
Salam alaikum.
Actually, I have a couple of great minds here that we're going to meet, and we're going to also get involved into many of the aspects of the stuff that we're doing together. Uh, Thank you very
I'm,
much.
I'm eager to listen to everybody. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Wali.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I think next we have Fadi. Fadi, you ready? Dr. Fadi?
Yes, yes, sure, I'm ready.
If you are,
Uh,
okay. Yeah. So if you could
okay,
give us an intro about yourself. I know Fadi now, he's one of the top mining governors and risk and regulatory in the region. All he's been advising ministers on like strategic plans and stuff like that. Maybe you can carry on with more about the introduction.
oh yeah, thank you, and thank you, Waleed, for inviting me to this amazing initiative. And Waleed, just forget one thing about that he is my friend, and this is something it's honor me personally on the personal stuff. But hello everyone from Cairo, Egypt, right now, and this is me, Fadi Ismail. So a little background about myself. I have my bachelor degree in the engineering, and then my doctor degree in the investment and governance. I used to govern um, some good initiatives around the region. Currently, I have my venture studio, which is in UAE, Cairo, and Rwanda, and it is called AGX Consultant. As well, I am Secretary General for the African Federation of Business Angel Networks, which is a federation under the African Union to get the supported by the African Union to help countries.
Carry on, Fadi.
All right, thank you, Ali. خلاص. Actually, I was speaking about myself, but let us skip on the discussion. That's my name, Fadi Ismail, and you can find me on the same name on the LinkedIn. But my background is in AI and governance because my doctor degree, as I was mentioned, in the governance and especially in data governance. Uh, we worked a lot in governance, and I think AI is an opportunity and a threat at the same time. It's an opportunity as we know everything thanks to Mr. Wright. He was just speaking about the activities he can done among his vision with the AI, but threats because it's become like a powerful, I would say, wave, a powerful tool, a powerful weapon sometimes, because it's fed by information. And I think how can we do the ethical AI? And ethical AI is the how to use the AI ethically, because as we just say, AI is just a machine. It's just an innovative machine. You can feed in with information and you can get some information out of it. So, feeding the information, how can you govern this? Of course, since we have generative AI in 2022, uh, and having open AI in 2023, and then the hike we have right now. But I was there in AI since 2008, 2009. Actually, I had a master degree in some models regarding AI. And when you see this from narrow AI to generative AI, the hike and how it moves fast, how the information is moved fast, we found two things related to AI. First is the sovereignty of data. Sovereignty of data, which means that who owns the data you're dealing with on AI, how it's impact. If we speak about nations, how to preserve your data that really reflect what you do. If we speak about companies, how can you protect your data, your ideas, your IPs, all this stuff, your internal information. That's why currently we see like a hike and a request for everyone how to protect our data, how to protect the AI, I would say trained data. So we move from public LLMs to private LLMs, and we move to some private solutions from the hyperscalers like Microsoft, Azure, AWS that grant the data sovereignty while using the AI. But still, there is a problem for the everyone. Okay, how what data can I share? How my data is used? I can see a good rise in this by EU, by the African Union. EU actually moving to this point, uh, and it's coming from the GDPR and the data privacy regulations in EU. How can we protect our AI? So we have an AI Act in 2023, and then 2024, and I think the final version will be starting this year, 2025. And we have the EU as AU as well, or the African Union, having its own agenda and having its own AI ethical. Why all this is important? Because moving on to AI, we need to regulate this. We need to regulate how to use data, how to work on data, how to have the governance for the data shared with AI models. And that's, I believe, in the coming days is a big arena for innovation. How can you, I would say, how can you make the hard equation and or solve the hard equation, which is you have the huge capability, the massive capability of AI, and you have the sovereignty of data and ownership of data. How can you solve this? How can you solve the risk of hacking, of raised cybersecurity? Uh, I would say raised cybersecurity attacks and raised cybersecurity threat using AI. I work in AI in cybersecurity as well as Mr. Raed. And actually, I can tell you 2024, 2025, AI has a big contribution when it comes to cybersecurity attacks. it's a massive tool. It's an incremental massive tool. So how can you protect your data? How can you protect your organizations? And how can you protect your future? Because what we do right now is like I always have this metaphor. This is like what pharaohs done 7 years back when they write on the walls to everyone, and then we came after 7,000 years and we found this. I believe AI is a new tool for the new wall for the human. So you can find in India, we have an old templates writing. We didn't see these people, but we read what they done. I think AI becoming like this is becoming like a repository of data for the future. So how do you feed your data? How do you get out? Uh, Practices from the practice side, I believe the first thing for you, everyone in the YouTubes having streaming or seeing us right now, be careful about your data. Be careful about what you shared with AI. Sometimes we have a fear of what AI can do on psychological part. So we speak about organizations, we speak about nations. Let's speak about the person. Okay, um, I believe that all of you have read the incident about the boy in US who has been committed a suicide for himself after he asking the AI. He shared with AI a lot of information, a lot of stuff about himself, and then he asked him a question. Would you believe that I could commit a suicide for myself? And the AI answered him yes, and encouraged him for this illegal action, unethical action. So this is drive us to the personal use of AI. How can you govern the data? How can we train our children what to share with AI? Again, AI is a huge innovation for the humanity, but at the same time, it's a huge weapon. Finally, I want to conclude my words and thanks to our friend Waleed that I can define 5 opportunities for everyone who's seeking for innovation, who's seeking for making wonderful companies and wonderful initiatives. First, using of AI in psychology. It's a big arena and it's moving fast and fast right now. How can you make this in your own languages? How can you train the AI for your own feeling? Because we are a world with 8 billion people, everyone thinking in a different way. So how can we make this and helping us? So AI for psychology, it's coming. I see it's coming, and it's need a lot of governance because it's impact the human safety and the human, I would say, uh, not prosperity as well, human safety and prosperity. Second is cybersecurity and AI. It's a big field, and it's becoming like AI-based security or securing the AI. It's becoming like the new initiatives around the world and a big chunk of information for new companies and startups. Third, the sovereignty of data for companies, for individuals, or for the nations. How can we move from X to Y on this? How can you have your own models and working on your own models? I believe that, like what Mr. Raid said, that we have a great initiatives in Saudi Arabia, in our beloved UAE, and of course Egypt, uh, to use this AI for moving from point X to point Y. Finally, I would like to thank you all, and thanks Waleed for this opportunity to meet everyone and see a good faces I know, and I am eager to know more from you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Fadi, for your insights. It's been very, very enlightening. And yeah, I don't know if anybody has a question, just a quick question for Mr. Fadi, or just a recap on that, maybe. Or if not, then we're going to move to the next speaker, who's also happened to be one of the top minds in cybersecurity in the region here, Dr. Anwar Dafalla.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm very grateful for you personally, Engineer Waleed, and all the organizing committee for this global forum. colleagues and friends. I see some familiar faces who are pioneered in their fields. I'm honored to join you today at this AI and Compassion Global Forum. It's really interesting.
Doctor, if we can start with a bit of intro about
Yeah. Okay.
yourself, yeah,
My
please.
name is
Yeah,
Anwar Fathar Rahman
especially the
Ahmed
TEDx
Dafalla.
part, you know.
Yeah, sure. My name is Anwar Fathar Rahman Ahmed Dafalla. I was born and raised in Sudan. I completed my bachelor in computer engineering at the Arab Academy for Science and Technology and Maritime Transport in Alexandria, Egypt. Then I obtained my master's and PhD in South Korea from Chungbuk National University, where I specialized in data mining, information security, and privacy. I have published over 20 peer-reviewed high-impact journals research, and I published a book. More recently, I authored another book called Green AI, the impact of AI and the benefits that provided by the AI in environment and sustainability. From a community leadership perspective, I founded the Sudanese Researchers Foundation. It's the largest academic and research online group for Sudanese. Member count is over 810,000 members, and it's 16 years old organization. I'm also leading the ICT, the Sudanese ICT Professionals Association here in Qatar for the fourth year right now. We have a member count of 1,000 plus members, professionals in different aspects of IT and telecom. I volunteer with TED since 2009. I started as a translator, translated over 1,650 TED Talks from English into Arabic, and I volunteer also as a language supervisor, language coordinator for the Arabic language. I'm also a TEDx organizer. I introduced TEDx to Sudan in 2010. And ever since, I helped train organize 18 different TEDx and helped mentoring over 70 TEDx. I work as a consultant with the Qatar Foundation in their initiative called Arabi. It's similar to TEDx or TED like conference, but all the talks are in Arabic, and then we translate them back to English and other languages. The initiative is new, but the organization and the region has a very rich civilization and culture, and we want to reflect that worldwide. So today, I'm really happy and honored to be amongst you. This is the second time I participate in 24-hour relay of ideas and human connection. The event is about artificial intelligence and technology, yeah, but it's also has that aspect of compassion, the deeper values that must guide us all in this busy world where companies and corporations are competing over our attention. So the values, compassion, harmony, and care for one another is very important for our collective future. I want to begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to my dear friend, Walied Albasheer, whose vision and leadership have brought us together across different time zones, cultures, and disciplines. He's a very generous and compassionate guy from my own experience. So I extend also the thanks to all the distinguished participants, speakers, contributors to this knowledge sharing platform for their expertise and creativity. So my talk is around the compassion from AI environment and sustainability background. So as an author of the AI for Green Planet, harnessing technology for a greener or green planet, I see gathering like this one as a living example of what happens when technology is guided not only by efficiency and profit, but empathy and responsibility. So together we can have a chance to redefine AI as a bridge between human ingenuity and the urgent need to protect our environment and our humanity as well. So let's use these hours of dialogue to plant seeds of collaboration that will grow into a future where nature, humanity, and technology thrive together. So the technology alone is not enough. We all agree upon this. We need AI that reflects human values and compassion. This will be, in the principles and the foundation of this conference, inspired by the Japanese principles, the harmony, and Wabi-Sabi, the beauty in imperfection. We are not perfect by any means. So I guess the dimensions that we can discuss here is the supportive action for AI and compassion. So our system should be designed to help reducing the harm, enhancing the well-being, like the mental health support bots that could be designed by your companies. Also, it should be aligned with the ethical foundation. So any decision should be guided by human-centric ethical frameworks, like the fairness, the dignity, and the privacy of our data. And I don't want to repeat the talks that delivered by the previous distinguished speakers, but I should put emphasis on this, and we have to repeatedly think about this and put it in the center of our thinking. Another aspect is the contextual sensitivity, the responses, the culture consideration, the age, the vulnerability of the youngsters and the kids and so on, and the situational factors. That should be also another dimension we should discuss in depth. And the fourth dimension that I think is very important is the supportive action. All the systems that we design, it should be designed to help in reducing the harm, enhancing the well-being for the individuals. So these are the four principles that I think, the four dimensions. For my interest, and I have long interest in environment and protecting the environment, the climate change and biodiversity loss is real. We have a huge problem right now, especially in the heated competition between different players, large corporations. We have to put in consideration the resource depletion and the pollution that happens with the AI right now. So AI can either accelerate the degradation or can support the environmental recovery. We have to put that into our consideration and put it into the design. So we design and put the systems that consider the environment in the first stages. So AI can be a bridge. We think that it takes we shift our attention from profit into the human values. We take the efficiency part as one aspect, but not all the aspects. We think of the sustainability part. Also, from the cold rationality, we have to shift our thinking into the compassion and ethics. So the compassionate AI applications could be, these are examples. In the healthcare, it should be in the human-centered diagnosis, the elderly support, the AI chatbots that could provide emotional support for patients with chronic illness, the cancer patients, the diabetes, the Alzheimer's, and so on. In the education, also, it could be a democratization of knowledge, democratization uh, of access to knowledge and adaptive learning systems that not only teach but also encourage students to do more. In the environmental aspect, and that's the center of my talk today, is the disaster prediction, the water and energy management, especially in the region here, the GCC, where people face a serious threat about the water. So in the community aspect, the compassionate AI applications could be digital civic engagements and awareness, bots that could help in the customer service, in the social media, and I could go on examples. So the use voices and the next generation and what we do now could impact their future should be in the center of that. So the future of AI must include the youth leadership. We should put them in the driver's seat. Compassionate AI should recognize, respond to, and prioritize human well-being, empathy, and ethical values. That means the young leaders with clear ethics and cultural creativity should be leading that aspect. So I guess this platform is a global platform for students and researchers to take the leadership and put the other steps towards the future. So in terms of strategically thinking about a framework, we need an ethical AI framework where decisions are guided by the human-centric ethical frameworks, integrating the compassion, sustainability into AI strategies. For example, here in the Arab region, where we have unique challenges and opportunities. This, the shared vision that the AI now is not green, is not compassionate by nature. It mirrors our values and intentions as humans. We have to care and to take very good care of that. So the choice of technology should be the technology that serves lives, not threatening it. In closing, I guess the AI and compassion directs us towards a future where nature, humanity, and technology live, coexist, and flourish together. So critical thinking, bold collaboration, and responsible innovation should be our way to achieving that. Thank you very much for your time and the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anwar. And I'd like to emphasize on Dr. Anwar, yani, if I could put it this way, his positive use of technology, into assisting a lot, maybe thousand of people into getting into higher education through Sudanese Research Association, which he said it's more than 800,000 members. I don't know how many PhD students you have assisted to get their, with a scholarship or to get their thesis done, or you just applying for their PhD program. He's a compassionate leader by nature. He loves to support people a lot, sometime on the favor of himself. But I really congratulate him for all the stuff that he's been doing. I think Sudan Research Association, I haven't seen any research association for any community that's beyond, 500,000 users and is still active with all the sub communities. And I think this is all about it. I mean, like, technology is a weapon. Or it could be used for good, or it could be used for bad. So again, as we are stepping into a new era where human machine interaction is getting like more closer, I think this is very important. And I'm going to talk later on about the research we did with ITU when we were creating the standardization of the autonomous vehicle. And the whole research was about something called the Molly problem. And Molly is a girl crossing the road, and she was hit by autonomous vehicle where there was no witness. And then they generated tens of questions about the ethical part of behavior that's expected from autonomous systems. So thank you very much, Mr. Anwar. And who's going next, guys? Who's ready to come next?
I can go next.
طيب يلا Alia. Yeah, so compassion and nature and all this stuff. Alia, she has one of the moonshoot, sort of concepts. Very interesting. And maybe you can have an intro about yourself, and then you can take it from there.
Okay. Thank you, Waleed. My name is Alia Mohammed. My background is data analytics, data science, and system integration. Waleed is my mentor. Thanks, Waleed, for giving me opportunity to be part of this amazing initiatives. I am really impressed to see that finally we're coming into an era of conscious innovation where we are merging AI with compassion, and we're taking into consideration the nature, principles, and the wisdom of the ancient civilization and culture, and the ethical aspects of developing our technologies and solutions that is considering nature and the harmony. So from data analytics and data science, and I've shifted. I used to work with mobility, same with Waleed. We used to develop amazing solutions, telematics and mobility. And then I shifted to use the same skills and background into science. So I did a multiple research in different branches of science, because for me to understand the nature of reality, I couldn't find answer from one discipline. And it took me into an amazing journey to start to discover different disciplines. And I've just seen that all this is mimicking how nature is coexist and created the interconnectedness system. You cannot separate one from another. So I start to apply this. So I would say I am scientist by passion, not by a degree. And I'm now a founder of an initiative called Beyond the Verses, where our focus on future science, multidisciplinary innovation, and regenerative system. I want to thank all the speakers that highlighted all these incredible insights about the AI, about the current era, the current challenges, and I would like to emphasize more on those aspects from a different perspective, because as I said, currently what we have, we are keep creating new technologies, new solutions, investing trillions in innovation, in R&Ds. But mostly what we are developing now is mostly fragmented solution coming from a silos perspective. And if we want to solve the global challenges, we really need to sit back and start to look. Nature principles is giving us really a good foundation to mimic the blueprint, and to try to find a solution that addressing the root cause rather than the symptoms of the problems. And this is when we reach sustainability. Because currently the latest report coming from the global footprint is showing that we are consuming 1.7 of the earth resources, natural resources. That is a very warming signs that NASA are showing that if we continue using this speed, extracting resources and depleting that, in 20 years, we might face a collapse for the whole ecosystem and the planetary. So this is it's a calling for us to try to find a way that how we need to innovate, how we need to start to create more integrated regenerative solution that is helping the environment, the planetary, and the ecological system to be regenerative. Okay, so our initiative exactly beyond the verses is to merge technology, science, human potential with the ancient wisdom. Because in ancient civilization, they used to be very developed, having advanced knowledge, advanced technology. And their key strengths that they were one with the nature principles. And this is what we are lacking now. But I am happy that we are reaching this conscious level that we are start to seek how we can integrate with nature, how we can produce more harmonized solution and application. And the current challenges in the AI, as I mentioned, is this silos model and solution. They are more focusing on efficiency, profit optimization, but we need to have deployed more interconnected multidisciplinary solutions, because AI has the capability and is already having all this knowledge and information in silos. But we need to start to think about how we can generate more multidisciplinary integrated solutions out of this amazing technology. Also, the other consideration that we need to highlight is the high energy use for the AI hardware is using an immense amount of energy. And I am working now with a group of scientists that they are trying to move towards more clean, sustainable energy source that they're creating it from the 0 point energy field. It is not yet reached a final solution, but there is amazing scientists who already created the amazing solution, just need to be integrated and scale it to the global level. Climate change. We always look to the environment and climate change from one perspective, the gas emission and the heat. But we need to address another factors is impacting that heat and the climate change, which is the electromagnetic radiation from the communication and information technology, which is main basically in the AI hardware. It's amazing that we need to expand, we need to develop more technology, but when we start to understand how nature co-create, how nature exists, then we will be able just, to transfer this quality of radiation to more harmonized, to be recycled with the biospherical level of the environment, because we have the geosphere, the biosphere, and then we have the atmosphere. So we need to have a full recycle between all those systems. And also, I want to highlight mainly people, even, we've attended last week the Futurist Summit, and they were talking about the next generation of AI, the general AI and the super AI. And the way they are presenting it is more as a competitor for the human. We don't need to compete with the human, because we can coexist together in a very harmonized system. So this partnership, it will be more flourishing for the societies, because human capabilities and in the cellular level, the cell can act as a classical, and it's also in the same time can act as a quantum. That's why there is this whatever challenges is being faced by the AI in terms of the learning capabilities, the amount of data is being processed, the amount of energy being processed. It definitely human are outperforming in that, because this is infinite intelligence that is being created, that system. So if we start to bring different disciplines like the quantum biology, the epigenetics, all of that into the design of the technology itself, maybe we will be reaching the way that how we can enhance the capability of AI to benefit from whatever existing in the nature. This is what they're trying to do in quantum. they just unlock, I would say, tiny part of the infinite intelligence, and it's making magics. And most of the people are like really astonished by how nature and in the subatomic level can operate and accelerate the data itself. So for us, I can see that we have two choices. Either we continue to create a more fragmented solution, or we can choose coherence and harmony. And this is the way forward for that. That's why we will introduce now, we are introducing now the first pilot of Beyond the Verses, which will be the Majlis of Wisdom. We want to reawakening the era of the Islamic Golden Age, the House of Wisdom, where it was a place of international collaboration and a multidisciplinary innovation. So I hope that we will be able to achieve it with all the people that are collaborating now, and the people will collaborate in the future as well. Because when we come together, we are more powerful than separate silos, fragmented approach. Thank you very much, and looking forward to hear the rest of the speakers.
Thank you very much, Alia. I think you took it at a medium level, not like the very, high level we normally discuss. Yeah. But Alia, she's been approaching, like Dr. Kareem and a couple of other global,
Yes.
scientists within this field, and
Yes,
she's
Dr.
been,
Ibrahim Karim, yeah.
yeah, Ibrahim
Dr.
Kareem and
Bruce,
others, yeah,
Dr.
and
Bruce
simple.
Lepton, yeah.
Yeah, simple formula, the amount of power our brain use to process, information.
Mm.
It's way, 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 far from any machine that anybody can
Never,
produce.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
that's it. Thank you very much, Alia. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
next we have Samir Sotour. I got the opportunity to work with Samir in different level, different engagement, right from Turnet, the CVC by DB World and others. And actually, we call these guys the OGs of the ecosystem here in the region, because they have been right from the first startup weekend that has been established, or even before. I think it was in 2011 or 2010, and stuff like that. And he never lost the passion to push forward, whether with Founder Institute, the Startup Grind, his own venture firm, and others. And the stage is yours, Samir.
Waleed, thank you very much. I mean, there's so many great researchers here on the call today. I'll share a little bit of my wisdom. The topic is very interesting, and on the sidelines of what I do, I've been actually since my launch in the UAE, since 2004. I've been here for 21 years. My maximum amount of time was spent in interacting with machines than humans, because my past life before, as Waleed mentioned about getting into startups, past and current life too, was actually machinizing a lot of intellect and collecting data from machines to make them more intelligent. That's been my background. I have worked with a lot of petrochemical companies, pharmaceutical companies, to make intelligence out of the data the machines produce. So as we move, and I have a few points to address with some examples today, as we move in an age which I would say AI domination, and I was kind of watching the version 3 of Elon Musk's robot, which obviously does the chef and garden, mows the lawn and things like that. It's very interesting to see where human capability has reached. It is the extreme of human capability when we launch these great machines into space, when we utilize these machines to bring our own productivity. It's the maximum threshold which we've kind of reached. Now, what differentiates? I want to kind of put into perspective um, compassion plus AI. What does it mean, and how? Why should we care? I simply want to put it in a way that we should call it as the future of human-centered innovation. This is why I said whether we have reached a particular threshold or not, but our innovations have kind of gone extreme in the sense some portion of it is good for humanity, but some portions are kind of also being utilized not in the right manner. Why it is important for humanity is it also is coming back to our life and teaching us more empathy, care, human dignity, which is being actually embedded in the next frontiers of technology. When we teach robots saying you have to be empathetic towards humans, when we teach a certain task to robots, that's actually making them smarter, understand the human biology type of metabolism type of things. Okay, systems just understand what we teach them. It's kind of not how we want them to become, but it's basically that. This is why we have different types of learnings, right? And the machine should be used to serve humanity, to essentially have a very solid human connection, right? That's what we call, I would call, embedding compassion and AI into human-centered innovation. How do we define compassion? I want to kind of touch a little bit based on compassion itself, like, but with reference to compassion in the digital age. What do we do? How do we define compassion in the digital age? So, when we are talking in this panel, do we completely, fully understand, recognize each other? Are we empathetic towards the suffering, the need, or the emotional state of, or even the patterns of which a particular person or the society or a city or a country is going through? Is what we have to put it forward. So the first thing is recognition on how we define it. The second is actually understanding. And understanding, we define it by data points to comprehend what the experience we have, what the metrics we've collected, what the behaviors of different humans we have observed. And those behaviors transcend to actually recognize a particular system or software or hardware we've developed. And combining recognition, understanding, we actually go into action, which basically taking meaningful steps to alleviate the suffering or fulfilling some unmet needs, which are very, very personalized. When we take an action, for example, when we teach a robot or when we teach a AI assistant or a digital bot, we actually teach them that this particular specific need is unmet and it is personal to Samir, and this is the action you should take, right? So compassion should transcend simple empathy, and it's a recognition of somebody's suffering to take action. This is how I would define compassion in a digital age. Now, there is a very solid intersection. I want to kind of do some examples here on where does compassion and AI intersect, because today we talk about different revolutions, we talk about industries getting disrupted, we talk about jobs being lost or displaced, right? But where is that intersection of compassion and AI happening? Which are the major industries benefiting? And how are they benefiting is, I would like to kind of lay down some examples. We're actually seeing a lot of AI agents being embedded into customer experience. For example, I'm in the UAE right now, and I call utility provider, Dubai Electricity Water Authority. I call Etisalat, which is the cell phone and telecommunication provider. So the first thing is around customer experience on um, it basically says it understands my tone. It then allows me to enroll my voice as if my voice becomes my password, or by my primary voice becomes the way I interact with that particular agent. And so everything is designed around my personalized voice for customer experience. The most important, so customer experience is one example where a lot of compassion is required, human understanding is required, recognition of what Samir needs at the moment is required to translate that into a solution for Samir. And with dignity, that solution is provided to the core, saying the next time Samir contacts, we already know all his preferences and we can solve a problem without he being on hold, or he asking us too many questions, because they already learned about everything I wanted to express. The second portion is I want to go to a healthcare or a hospital situation where if you see, and I was kind of reading this about Elon Musk's latest Neuralink chip being embedded into a blind person, where the blind person can actually start seeing wide vision, right? And also some of that can actually be translated into text, because it's actually embedding directly into the brain. Initial tests are revealing that the thought can actually be translated to text. And then over a period of time, that same chip, as the understanding improves, the same chip can be used to actually used for more data analysis and even providing full wide vision as well. So healthcare is a big beneficiary of compassion, understanding what that particular patient needs, and then providing for that emotional state, recognizing to adapt to their behavior with genuine sensitivity. The third area I would like to focus is education. We have children and they're getting educated. So they're actually stimulated using AI. They're stimulated to learn more. But are we providing the right tools for them to learn? Are the AI mentors, which the school or the knowledge authority is providing, does it have emotional resilience? Does it have safer spaces? Is it more nurturing than parental presence? And does it provide enough learning opportunity and environments? Is what we have to kind of look at when we intersect compassion and AI. And the final example I would like to kind of leave you with, I have a few more points, but I want to kind of give opportunity to everyone on the panelists today, is around elder care. And we've been using for the longest period of time, we've been using assistive care or assistive systems for people of determination, right? Which provides the robotic systems of today provide genuine companionship. They genuinely want to help the elderly, the silver care as we call it. Proactively, they will detect the loneliness. For example, there is a big pandemic of loneliness in Japan and the US, and many countries, many developed countries are developing a pandemic of loneliness. So how are we able to spot loneliness, check on the individuals who are being lonely, empower them rather than patronize people, and solve for their disabilities through thoughtful design, creating a well-being environment so they can survive longer and increase their longevity. Again, there are principles I would like to I can kind of focus on and go ahead. I don't know how much time we have, Waleed, but there are design principles. I've been kind of reading a lot about more about how these design principles can be embedded into designing AI, super intelligent AI systems, when we call artificial general intelligence and super general intelligence.
Get
compassion goes
another
a
two
long
minutes,
way in
Samir. Yeah,
designing these systems.
Yeah, two more or 3 minutes is okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So what I'm gonna touch is there are principles on designing compassionate AI. How do we kind of bring when we design AI systems, when we have deep research capability, when we have large language models helping to contextualize both emotion and compassion, how do we train these AI systems to recognize these subtle cues in language, discipline? Um, uh, I mean, a human, for example, goes through 5 to 7 emotional stages during the day. My cultural nuance will be different to cultural nuance of another person sitting next to me, and how all that learning can actually be individualized. So empathy by design is the first principle. Then bringing ethics. All our systems, there are a chief ethics officer for AI. So they're putting ethics at the core, because if you don't have ethics, obviously the systems will be haywire on the content is being generated, whether it's fair, ethical considerations, and are they being retrofitted for problems, or are they actually genuinely designed from the core? Is what we have to see. Um, Again, so that's the second principle, where ethics is kind of looking at as a core design feature. The third area is augmenting human care. We talked about elderly care, so bringing the human in the loop, or designing the system, keeping the human in the center, and typically the goal should be to enhance capacity and empathy, seeing the human. Like for example, an artist will actually sit together in front of an individual and then create the portrait of that particular person when that person is very still, but when her person moves, then the artist is getting distracted. Now, in AI systems, this is a similar feature which scientists are actually looking at, wherein those systems can actually be helped to augment human care, never by replacing it entirely, and so forth. Transparency and trust, all of us talk about, and then action-oriented outcomes. So trust is super important. Everybody is relying on consumer trust. If you actually see global systems, there is a lot of focus on trust, bringing trust into because globally there's a trust deficit. So how do we match consumer preferences to that trust to make an AI system successful, and also bringing the right team to solve for emotional and other intelligences rather than replacing it. The final point I would like to mention here is the true measure of intelligence of any human being here is how much does the machine know, or how much can it measure. It's not about that. It's about how much can it actually understand a human from the heart. Its heart is the measurement, right? So I was actually listening to a very interesting podcast to close this out session today, that this surgeon from India who's done 30,000 surgeries, he said a very interesting aspect, saying your physical age and your age of your heart is completely different on what you consume and how you exercise and things like that. So, so the human heart, when designing AI systems and bringing compassion, these become super important while looking at aspects which go around to building systems which are sustainable over a long term. So I'd like to kind of end that we are pushing boundaries of technology using AI and other systems, but let's not lose sight and kind of develop it it with care. That's what I would like to kind of end with, and I really thank Waleed and other panelists for the opportunity for me to kind of present some thoughts on compassion AI, and wishing good luck for the remaining panelists to present their thoughts. Thank you, Waleed.
Welcome. I think Samir, you shed lights on many interesting parts, but the most part strike me you know, is pandemic of elderly loneliness. And anybody who has, you know, his father or his grandfather along with him, he could figure out this right from, you know, getting what the Gen Z call brain rot, you know, by just following up and scrolling, or just not using tech at all, or you know, having that sort of family time where everybody feels cherished and all. I personally have a great impact on this. I've got my father who's staying closer to me. He is 80s. I've got my grandfather. He's staying also in the same place. He's late 90s. And when I look at, you know, the way they are sometime like spending their time, I always ask myself a question. There should be a solution. I mean, there should be a solution. Thank you very much for reflecting on this unit. I think it's in the heart of
Yeah.
combustion. And you know, one of the advice I've seen in the videos during these promos is that if you want to keep your brain cells, uh, you know, active and protected, combustion is the only way, because it's about understanding the multi-attribute of how the person is feel, what shall I tell them, what shall I do, what shall. So for any interaction you do with any person, it's like you do a lot of calculation with a very delicate manner that will really make your brain, you know, actively, you know, exercise. I will keep it to أيوة سارة اتفضلي. Sarah, she got a point here, I think.
Yeah, I want to take it from here, Waleed. Actually, thank you so much for the invitation at first. But from my studies, that when you are working with the compassion to the person himself, he compassion with himself at first. It renovate again the brain cells, which is traumatized and light off inside it, which is mean that neurons will come back to life with a new life when you are serving the compassion to yourself at first. You cannot give compassion to others whilst you're not tasting it. Right? You're not allowing yourself to feel it. So it's not like a trend that traumas, we are healing the traumas and we are searching for the trauma or our back traumas. It's not a trend. It's actually regenerating back the image in the cells of the brain by compassion to our heart first. The heart is the generator, the first generator to light up again the neurocells in the brain. And we can just like link what is in the world industries is like the brain cells. And the ecosystems is like the neuronal network between. And then the power of compassion from the heart, this is the lightest ever light to the neuronal mesh or the neural network to the whole industries. This brings sustainability. The human body, if you're taking the human body as the system of all the world, industries, civilizations, harmonies, whatever, you will find the longevity just in the heart, back to the heart. I don't know if I can proceed or no, but
I
this is
I think, Sarah, there's a major part here. I mean, we have this Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "من أراد أن
something.
الله في رزقه وينسأ له في أثره فليصل رحمه."
Yes.
يعني whoever
Yes.
want to have like a really good living and a really good memories and legacy, he has to reach
It's
out to
connecting,
close
yes,
people
with
and
relatives,
practice
yes.
compassion, basically. Practice
Yes.
compassion, you know, with your relative and others regarding
Because compassion
that.
connect, make this connection to himself again, make this reflection. When you know even new people, there is a compassion between you and the new person before knowing what he's really works or what he's doing. But the first is this connection, is this link, because we are all connected.
So now,
This is
Sarah, I will ask you something. Are you aware with this term? You are absolutely right.
which one?
There's a term. You are
Yeah.
absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Now, this term has been abused right now by AI agent,
Yes.
and it's like It's getting really, for me, it's getting on my nerves, stuff like that. You're absolutely right, but we are wrong, but we will be wrong again and be wrong again. And then, so how do you see the
It's a
compassion?
trial.
Yeah, would we, many people, they forget that these are statistical model. They are not having a feeling or whatever, regarding that. Um, mm, uh, Ahmed,
I can tell you
Sana.
that I can tell you that I basically work with the stress, that the most threatening thing in the systems in the world, actually, for the humans. It's the first cause for the heart attack, or for the brain strokes, or even the chronic diseases. So actually the first medicine for the stress is the compassion, because the first stress is starting from self-guilting, destructing system inside the brain. The negative part of the thoughts. You have the 50% of and the 50%, it's 100% of your thoughts. 50 of them is the negative thoughts, or just guilting yourself, and the other one is the compassion, or the positive ones, or the passionate ones. Actually, this cause the water of the body and the air in the body is just like polluted. So this is the very basic cause for every chronic disease. I can say that when you are working with the stress and knowing that there is no use for having this stress, actually everything is sustainable. Everything is here for the serve of the human. But we are all, in all industries, are thinking just to serve it easily, fastly, with less power, less work. And that tends us to only the logical brain, which comes in the late ages as a machines, and then technologies, and then now to the AI, artificial intelligence. But actually, it brings us finally today. Actually, I love the initiative, because this initiative brings us back that it's not only the brain, it's the heart at the first. The heart have more than the brain by 40,000 cells, neuronal cells, electricity. You can just push the heart. When someone have a heart attack, you can push the heart with electricity, but you cannot serve the brain. It's coming from the source as a heart. So we can say that when it comes back to the heart, you can have industries, but from the human aspect to the human again. So this is the sustainable system will be. Actually, this is my point, because I'm now like I said, I'm working on stress. I'm sorry I interact, but the part of the heart brings me back to the life. We can say that.
That's right. But
Yes.
since you're okay, since I think you have an interesting experience about healing and about
Yes.
compassion and all this stuff. Would you love to share a bit of this?
Actually, I wanted to give just 2 seconds for everyone to take a breath from the nose, but take the air until getting to all your cells of the brain, like you are taking this breath, and feel it in the brain, in the cells. It takes the air inside, just 2 seconds of a breathe. And then the exhale will be very slow. In just 2 seconds, or even more, actually, but you can take in this 2 seconds the activation of the vagal nerve of the parasympathetic system, which is actually the self-healing system in the body. We are in all our day, we are just talking, expressing, saying, but it's all in the serving of the work. It's not serving the breathe, it's not serving the water inside the body. And this too is the most important things to the body. You cannot live with the air, you cannot live with the water, the second one. So air and water is the whole circulating system from the heart. Let's say the air is the element which is actually connecting all the networks, all the telecommunication system, even the AI, actually, AI is just working on even your vibrations, your thoughts, and take it like a resonance. It makes like a resonance connection with your AI agent or your AI assistant. And this bring back again the sentence Samir mentioned that bring it back to your heart, make this connection with the AI, because this will last, this will make it last forever. Let's say that we can put the heart in our daily routine. How we can do this? Let's feel it. Feel even 2 or 3 breathes in the day. Feel when you're writing, feel this blood is working with these thoughts and words to put it on the future. Make your heart is connected with everything you're doing, and feel it with your heart, because heart is the source of all informations. We can say that also the intelligence or the technologies now is working on the aspect of the speed of information. This is the target, and actually all the information is in the heart, and the speed is not getting the full informative system, but relaxing is getting the full informative system. And this comes from late Sufism. You can if you remember the Jalaluddin Rumi, he find all the wisdom in the silence. So in the silence, heart talks, and when the heart talks, really the brain learns. All the late scientists, Arab scientists, who are bringing or brought already the science to the civilizations, all of them find the science through their body when they are in silence modes. So they are started from the astronomy. They're seeing the astrology. They're just seeing themselves as a reflection of the sky,
It's
and
about
feel
the
every
CISA,
star,
the CISA wave and beta wave and whatever, and
because
how
they
Yeah.
clear you have
reactivated.
to get
Yeah,
into CISA wave
yes, they
level and stuff
activated
like
it.
that. And
When,
The
right
when
now,
you
I
alter.
are
think
in silence, when
is
you are in
Mm,
silence in a full
mm,
meditative state, you can
mm,
reach to the gamma, the speed of the
mm.
information,
Yes,
without
actually.
anything, without
and right now,
anything.
for example, with some of the IoTs, I mean, like the watch, the like the like the smartwatches and stuff like that. I use a couple of programs. I don't want to advertise here, but I use programs that does heart rate variation, and then it has
Mm,
like
mm,
a wealth of statistics and charts based on just his heart rate variation. But the thing is, like, it advised on the right time to make decision. A serious decision is advised to, again, it's the right time,
But
not to wrong
Walid,
time, stuff like
I,
that. Yeah.
I believe those systems now are just monitoring, and this is really raise your stress, because it's
But again,
yes.
giving you that.
it's not about monitoring. I mean, like, I think we don't know ourselves, you know, in
Yes.
many ways. So at
Yeah.
least this system sometime can reflect what's going on. And Waleed is a health tech expert,
Yeah.
who's been an old friend of mine, sharing the same name, sharing
Yes.
the same college, and the last 30 years together. Maybe he could shed light later on. He's a guy who knows about all the health tech systems and
Wow.
stuff like that.
Beautiful.
By the way,
But
I'm working now on a project which is working basically on the psychological states of everyone, because we are now having all our devices as a personalized, and the AI itself, it's a personalized one. So I'm working on a system to generate from the human intelligence system in the body what's inside in this, what is the psychological state, and it's stored. And when the sensations is working as a data, you can not only predict, but you can know that in the moment what's inside now, and to like regulating all the system in a spot. So I'm still in the research, still in the working, but actually working with the human intelligence is way far. When you take it to the AI, not take it from the AI.
okay,
Yeah,
Thank
Sarah,
you, guys.
I'd like to ask you about, like,
Yes,
for example, you've been in fashion, you hit big time in fashion for some time,
yes,
then on the healing, then on the
yeah. neuropsychology now.
Compassion today and now psychology.
Yes.
What
And
have you
before
said?
I was telecommunication engineer as first, and I found myself that I'm working now in the telecommunication, but in another way. It's
So
empathetic.
what are you searching for? I mean, after hitting big in fashion in
Yeah,
France
yeah.
and
New York Fashion
plays
Week,
and
Paris
stuff like
Fashion
that.
Week, and Hong Kong
So
Fashion Week. Yeah,
what is missing? What makes you, you know, like what are you looking for with all
actually, look,
artificial intelligence?
Actually, this is what I'm looking for. The project I'm doing now, it's a health tech wearable, but it's mainly using the human intelligence and all the old medicine systems. But what brings me here is it was because I was working on the fashion and the personalized couture. So I know the person exactly from inside to make a design. So it was a design from the heart. And then I searched for the psychology because I want to know more about the psychology of the self to help my clients to reach the kind of yeah, this dress is just made for me, and to feel that ease and also empowered and charismatic within the couture. They are just wearing it, but I found that we wear our personalities, we wear our inside out. It's not outside.
You know what I figured out, all right, what I have observed over the last couple of months. And last couple of months, I went into coding again after maybe 30 years or 20 years. And the main objective, you know, as somebody who look at startups, you know, like on weekly basis, we get a lot of keywords terms, and I wanted
Sure.
exactly to go, you know, deeper, try to debunk and figure out what is real and what is not. And what I have figured out, you know, most of these AI systems, they don't see. They can calculate. They can they can solve formula.
Yes.
They can bring very complex analytics, but
Yeah.
they cannot simply see a graphic user interface.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go and do a
Yeah.
lot of coding to figure out what is the code, and then they try to figure
Yes.
out if the code is like this, then like that. But right now with with the agent which we launched in ChatGPT 5, it's like there is a camera and then it goes and then it's like that. But sometime يعني what we say in Arabic ممكن تروح القمر وممكن تغرق في شبر ميه. يعني they can go up to the moon and they can drown
Yes. Just in a little bit
in a
water.
bucket,
Yes.
you know. Yeah,
صح.
yeah. So again, seeing the future of humanity and seeing the future of jobs, for me, I see uh, design thinking, user-centric, anything got to do with the interface, and it's going to be difficult to invade this area because it depends upon the personal test. Rather, there's no right or wrong. A math equation has a right or wrong. You know, a program it has either working or working with error or completely not working or whatever. But here it's like no, I like red, he like blue. This one like yellow. I like it square. I like it circuit. It's like
Mm.
yeah, there's no right and wrong. And here comes the
Mm.
dilemma of trying to figure out. Last point, you know, can you shed a bit of light on this? You know.
Okay. When we can say that it's rational, it's not a basic thing,
Mm.
and especially when it comes to the people who learning or who is exceptionally learning all the time. Actually, it's a change in between, like we can say like 9 numbers of wisdoms. Why I choose 9? Because we have the numbers as from 0 to 9 only. There is and then it's repeated in how, like you can say from 0 to 9. So if we are 9 person on the in the universe, you are turning in between these numbers. What I am saying here that you will transfer from a personal state to another personal state, which is different than you, but already in the universe, already you've seen before somehow, like from like the scientists, all of the scientists before the late scientists, they are started from the astrology and end back to the pharmaceutics or creating the medicines. So they are taking all the sciences from their own aspect. So we are also living the same personalities from different aspects. But this brings back to one point that, okay, it's rational, but it's again, basically as like the human bodies. I, like yourself, having the same organs, having the same system inside the heart, working with this blood circulation, with this plasma circulation, this hormonal, with this proton, everything. But thoughts are just generating from me, turns to you. When I'm just thinking about Waleed and the second day I met him by chance, or I called you, or you called me, there is a connection. There is a connection, and it reaches you without reasons, without figuring out how it comes to you, without saying. So this is
Very
the
insightful.
spiritual one.
Very insightful, Sarah. And I never get, bored, discussing this
Yeah.
stuff
You,
with you.
you, sorry to interrupt, but Walid, always we have this interesting discussion, me, you, and Sarah.
Okay,
It's very interesting, and you really raised a very valid point that how AI can reach to a level that understand more than the logical functionalities. Because
Yes,
here, this is what
that's
we call
spiritual.
it. Yeah, what we call it, like in the human design, we have in the brain perception, we have the right brain perception and the left brain perception. So the left brain perception is mainly dealing with the logical
Logical, yes.
faculties and is working based on the five senses. The right brain is extrasensory
Okay.
capabilities and is connected to the infinite intelligence. And the consciousness scientists and the quantum scientists, they're talking about what they call it the qualia, which is the foundational level of the quantum field that no one can even, find for you, like how this qualia, this experience, these emotions, this compassion is being created. No one can understand. They just only
Yes.
explain it as the symbolic representation, what we are trying, to measure. Whatever we measure only 2%.
I can say here,
Wonderful,
Alia,
wonderful.
it's a the last word, it's a compassion, so it's the
Yeah.
common passions between
Yes.
us, and that's the answer,
Common
yeah,
passion,
Walid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great,
So
yeah. So we
so
have
yeah.
we have another. I would like to introduce a
Sure,
very
thank you
good
so
friend
much.
of mine.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Alia. Waleed Akasha. Waleed, he's been like a
Mm,
life mate, if I could call it.
mm,
Right from 1993, we have been together.
mhm.
Okay, maybe he look much younger than me because he doesn't keep any hair on his whatever. Yeah, but Walid is one of the top expert about health tech, about whatever whatever you utilize whenever you go to hospital. Walid, he plays a big role into putting this system together. So I'll introduce Walid right now, and he has also slide to share. Yeah, Debo, if you can assist. After Walid is Muhammad Usman. He also have a slide to share. Sorry, guys, I kept you a little bit ahead because you have like slides and all. So keeping it like more consistent. And Walid, the floor
Yeah,
is yours.
there is no need to share that. I'm going to talk about it. Thank you, Waleed. Thank you very much. As correctly said by Waleed, I've known this guy since 1993, and even before that, we share the same name. We studied in the same college in back in India, in Pune. However, I am younger than him. So,
I will
right.
not put this black now. I'll be younger than you.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
so I'm going to be very brief, right to the point. I want to talk about 3-4 points, not more than that. One of them is, people for many years, people used to speak about knowledge economy. Okay, To me, AI is the peak of what people now call the knowledge economy. Now, if you go to Google and you just type, what is artificial intelligence? Go to Google and ask it, what is AI? The typical answer Google will give you is, AI is a branch of computer science focused on creating machines that can perform tasks requiring human intelligence, such as learning, reasoning, problem solving, and decision making. So in a nutshell, this is what is AI. Now, there are multiple use cases or scenarios for AI, but I would like to take it back to the basics. In computer, we used to say garbage in, garbage out. From the very beginning, the same principle apply to AI. AI is as good as the data that you actually train your models on. Now, I will jump to healthcare. Historically, when it comes to IT,
sorry, you didn't give us just an intro about, you spoke about, yeah. If you can just shed a light of, a bit of, intro about yourself.
Okay, so again, my name is Walied Albasheer, and I've spent my entire career in healthcare, 25 years in healthcare, spanning from working with EMR companies, the companies that provide hospital information systems. So I've worked with hospitals that use Cerner, use Epic, use a very old system called Medicom back in the day. Then I joined corporates like GE, like Kodak, like Infinite, where I was actually selling imaging solutions, RIS and PACS. Then I moved to a company that actually was playing in the security side of healthcare, like Imprivata, who do the single sign-on access management. Then Imprivata, which is more into pharma and life science, clinical trials. So it's I've seen each and every side of healthcare throughout 25 years. And what I've learned throughout these years, healthcare being a very sensitive sector because it simply deals with human lives, has always been late in adopting IT. Compared to fintech, for example, banking, oil and gas, all the other industries, they can adopt IT or computer-related progress much faster than healthcare. But healthcare is very challenging. And there is a reason for that, because you are talking about medical staff, doctors, nurses, lab consultants, radiologists, and all of them are actually dealing with patients. They are dealing with human lives. So their first priority is to spend the time with that patient and provide the treatment. Now, what I can confidently say is AI is actually changing. As I said, healthcare has always been lagging behind in adopting IT, which is a fact. Okay, one of the presentations I can never forget. I saw back in 2006, actually, almost 20 years back, by a doctor in the NHS in the UK in London. He showed us a small video of an IT guy trying to train doctors, and that video showed a cowboy, but that cowboy was not actually herding cows. He was actually herding cats. If you know what I mean. It is very difficult because the first priority to the medical staff is to spend time with patients. So how AI is actually now helping in the healthcare arena? I can say right now with all the confidence that the impact of AI in healthcare is going to be massive, larger than any other industry. For reasons, AI is now being used in the discovery of new medication. AI is now being used heavily in clinical trials and in the prevention, in the prediction. What is happening now is you have lot of startups playing in the healthcare IT of AI. You have many companies. In the recent 6 months, we have seen a trend which actually bring a memory of the 1999, the collapse of the dot-com bubble, Waleed, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes.
Every 2-3 persons will get together, they will create an algorithm, and they will come up with an AI startup in healthcare. What is happening now, what we are seeing now is the big names, the big companies are actually now either, if you have a really good company, they will either acquire it and kill it or make it part of the ecosystem. But now it is time for the consolidation. Now, if we have 500 startup AI companies in the healthcare, within 2 years, we might end up with 5 or 6, with the main players being the current players, because we see that, like in healthcare, just like in general IT, I'm sure you are all aware about names like Microsoft, Oracle, XYZ. Okay, you have names in healthcare that now are actually dominating and literally killing the startup ecosystem of AI. People like Epic, like Oracle Cerner, they are now consolidating and coming up with their own AI models. Why is that? Because your AI is as good as the data you train your model on. And who own the data? Those big corporates. So I think the real battlefield for AI is actually the data. Data is the next goal.
Yeah, I believe you very much. You know, I spoke in a conference, the entrepreneur conference, before 3 days, and I asked clearly for any organization to keep data as an asset class. You know, they have to keep a price tag on their data. You know,
Yes,
as an asset class.
okay.
You know,
Let me give you an example. For years, doctors have been using voice recognition and the dictation systems. When you go to a doctor today, if you step into any hospital, you will spend the time with the doctor. When you leave his room and before he receives the next patient, he will actually need to do a note. And that note is actually called, just let me try to see if I can actually share that with you right now.
yeah, we've been having a couple of innovation programs with health practices.
Actually, there is no need to share the screen. So for the consultation, there is something called the report the doctor need to write need to be in a certain order. They call it SOAP, which is subjective, objective, assessment, and plan. Typically, what used to happen is that doctor will actually use his microphone. If he's having a coder, he will use his microphone. The subjective is what the patient is telling the doctor. I have an abdominal pain, I have a chest pain, I have this, I have that. And then the assessment of the doctor, and then the treatment plan. Now using AI, when in real time, in real life, when that discussion is going back and forth between the doctor and the patient, the AI is actually summarizing the whole process. So by the time the patient leaves the room, the report is ready. That means a doctor, instead of seeing 5 patients a day, he can now see 10. Same apply for the radiologist, who is actually need to report an X-ray or an MRI or a CT. So the commercial benefits of AI is massive. That's why the adoption of AI in healthcare is much faster than any other industry, because of the economical factor of that.
But what about the regulatory? What about the internal sponsorship, the understanding, and stuff like that?
Now people spoke about the ethical part of it. Now, and also the environment. I heard few comments about the environment. Now we know that AI consumes huge amount of electricity. The power needed to run those data centers is actually massive.
Yeah.
This is on the environment. But when it comes to healthcare, I think I actually need to share this, Waleed, so that people can be on the same page with me.
Okay.
Yes, share. Okay. Yes. So yeah. Can you see my screen, guys, now?
Yeah, showing you.
So now the Global Regulatory Network is a global agency for responsible AI in healthcare. Now I can actually share this document with the group here. So what is a pioneering country? Now this has been already adopted by the UK. So the NHS UK is one of the first countries that's actually part of this initiative, and the whole thing, like anything else, unless you have an ethical framework that controls the work of AI, things can actually go in a very wrong direction. The UAE is actually going to be part of this. We are already in talks to the authorities here, and hope to actually get this done at the earliest. Any questions, guys?
Well, great. I think you've been. I think one of the main like practice that we could mention when talking about AI and combustion is healthcare, because again, you have two different patients in two different places with with completely two different, like tools and processes and everything like that. But at the same time, the value of their life, it's equal.
I see.
So here the play is very critical.
There is a very important point that I actually missed to mention. Unlike any
Yes.
other industry, in all the other industries, people are afraid that they are going to lose their jobs because of AI.
Yeah.
Healthcare is an industry already under,
Pressure.
yes, there is actually less number of doctors, nurses across the board. It's a global issue.
That's right.
There is no
That's
enough
right.
doctors. There is no enough
That's
nurses.
right.
There is no enough technicians. You name it, across the board. So healthcare is actually bridging a gap. There is a need. Unlike, like, for example, in consultancy, AI is actually causing people to lose their jobs. Last month, a company like Data Consultancy actually lay off 8,000 employees.
Actually, consultant and and LLM
Yes,
model. I mean, like it
yes,
is the
yes.
same concept. But just coming back to your, I have one example to share. A couple of months ago, my father got a heart attack, and it was the sad one. And luckily, I could be around. I just moved, take him to the hospital. I had a couple of assessments. Which hospital shall I go? It was during some sort of also a bit of major like fever around. So I took him to his specialist doctor. It was a very risky decision, but that was what I could decide by that time. Now they did ECG for him, and when they did the ECG, I just captured the picture. I put in ChatGPT. I asked for assessment. The answer was he need to be operated immediately, and all
Yeah.
blah, 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 all that stuff. Now that might not be regulated, unadvised, or any sort of. And I put a disclaimer here. This is not an advice, but what if this is happening where you still need to make a decision? You're not in the hospital. You are in a clinic, or you are in where, or you are in where. Sometime acquiring the information at the right time. Yeah, thanks God, he's been operated right away. The doctor had patients waiting. When I told him he need to go now, they make it serious, and then he need to go now. So here,
See,
I think this is for me. If I spend the rest of my life thankful for AI for giving us this, it will be really,
Look. Every single day, the use cases of AI in healthcare is literally mind-blowing. I can give you examples for the next 24 hours, okay? I will just give you two simple examples. CT exams. For some of the patients, especially the cancer patients, sometimes they need to do CT exams, okay? But there is a limit to how many number of exams you need to do per year. It is actually 4 to 5 because of the radiation dose that you should not exceed per year. Using AI, there is a model now of AI that can actually allow that patient to take the CT exam with an 80% reduction in the radiation dose. That means that same patient, instead of doing 4 CT exams per year, he can now, and thanks to the AI, do 8 CT exams per year. And this is massive. The medical implications of that in terms of the treatment and the follow-up of the progress of his case is unbelievable. This one thing. The second use case is actually the prediction of the cardiac arrest. There are certain use cases that can actually follow, if applied on the right data, can actually predict that this particular patient is most likely to have a cardiac arrest within the next 3 to 6 months. Now, on pure economical impact of that, if you can actually prevent a cardiac arrest, you simply save millions of dollars, because once a patient is having a cardiac arrest, he needs to spend days in the ICU, then in the ward, medication. This is a huge cost for the health system. So if you can predict and prevent that, you save millions and billions. So, and I don't want to even talk about
beautiful. I think Waleed, there's never a more impactful illustration of AI with compassion than saving lives. I think this comes to the limit. Thank you very much.
It is exactly now the opposite. Healthcare has always been pushing back on IT. Why? Because it is slowing us down. Everything is manual. I need to spend time with the patient. I don't want to use a keyboard. I don't want to even use a mic and dictate. Now they want more. They want more of so AI has flipped.
Of course, it will eliminate the non-core activities. It will eliminate a lot of non-core activities, and then let them focus on what is matter, whether they want to spend time with the patient or whatever. Focus on the core activities. Yeah.
So
thank you very much, Waleed.
Instead of taking time from them, instead of asking the doctors and the nurses to spend time on the PC, we're actually giving them more time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Waleed. This has been very insightful. I would call right now on the stage Dr. Manal Rifgi. Manal, she's Director of Strategy and Business Development at Rakuten in Japan. She's also a PhD researcher on digital asset and one of the top minds globally when it's come to digitization of data or digital asset, if we can call it. Manal, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for taking the opportunity to join us today.
Well, thank you so much, Waleed, for the great introduction. I'm not sure about the superlative, but yeah, thank you everyone for being here and for the organizers for putting such a great event. I think is one of its kind. So when the opportunity came with Waleed, I said, yes, okay, let's do it, even in a busy day. So lovely meeting you, everyone. And today I chose to talk about a subject that I'm not really, I never actually link it together, which is history and AI. As a big, reader of history and a fan of understanding the new technologies with the history, I chose today to talk about something also related to the GCC, and the Middle East. So yeah, let me just share my screen. So just like an introduction about myself, I'm based between Dubai and and Japan. I serve as Director of Strategy and Corporate Development at Rakuten. It's a conglomerate based in Japan, and also VC investor. I invest in a lot of startups, been part of IVC fund still and until today. So we invest in a lot of gaming and AI startups. Of course, AI is like, a tool that, we can't hide as like investors. So of course, we jump into, a lot of AI startups and investment. On the other side, I'm a PhD researcher in digital asset. I've been working in the field since 2017. So I am more interested in the monetary policy and of course, studying money, studying, the monetary policy, digitalization. We always have to link it to history. And that's what takes us today to the subject of that I chose. When Walied has shared with me, the agenda, I was a bit confused. But actually, I want to thank again the organizers because they put together themes that we don't think about it as investors, as technologists. We always think about the monetary side, the technology, but we don't think about the compassion of AI, the human side, which is really beautiful. And that's the essential, especially that AI is still here, still be here, like, for the next centuries in different forms. Maybe we will reach AGI, maybe not. I'm sure that, a lot of people, they're working on it. So yeah. So without further ado, thank you again, everyone, for sticking to us. I think it's been 3 hours doing this GCC session. So yeah, I choose to start with the history because history tells us what happens when we protect the knowledge and what happened when we don't. So today I want to take you from the library of Alexandria. As I said, I wanted something to be related to the GCC, subject, the one and only Oceania, Egypt. And what happened when we don't actually protect the knowledge, right? So today, I want to talk about the Library of Alexandria and what it can teach us to build a just AI. Of course, I'm not here to romanticize the past. I'm here to actually use it as, if you think about it, as a mirror, so we can use it, for clearer choices. So I'm starting with the Library of Alexandria because it's the earliest large-scale attempt to gather the word knowledge in one place. It's been founded in the Paleolithic period, around the 3rd century BCE. And it was attached to the Museum, which are like a community of scholars, translators, and scientists. It has been, called as, like the humanity first global brain. Why? Because ships back then, they were docking in Alexandria, were searched for scrolls. Works were copied into the collection to make more books, and scholars lived and worked together. It wasn't just like a storage library, actually. It was an organized system for creating and actually preserving the knowledge across culture. So what makes it really, interesting is the diversity that we had in the Alexandria Library, from Greek philosophy to Egyptian medicine to the Babylonian, astronomy. The diversity of the Library of Alexandria, that's what makes it the first attempt of the global human brain, thanks to the diversity. So you will ask me why, the subject for today linked to AI, right? Very legit question. It's because we are building now with AI new systems that concentrate knowledge brain, right? Now it's digital, it's global. We are talking about data, we are talking about algorithm. But as, a comparison, we can really see that diversity that we are trying to build, just like, as the museum, they were trying, I just spoke about them, the community of scholars, translators, they were trying to preserve the brain of the humanity. So the same questions that shaped Alexandria what gets collected, who decide, and who benefit are shaping AI today, right? I'm using actually the history as a ground for our conversation in first principle, because if we think about it, for AI and for like Alexandria library, we have the curation, right? Which knowledge we choose, to feed AI. The inclusion, like who are like, the civilization that we choose to include and not. Maybe now you have like, a direction where I am coming. Resilience and the risk of centralizing, the memory. So what made the Alexandria, so grandiose is actually the operating model. It was like, a proactive acquisition from every ship that docks in Alexandria port to copy, translate, having a systematic, copying mechanism, residency for like the scholars. They had like a place where to live, a collaboration that generated really a new work. So you can think about it as an early knowledge platform with 3 loops in tech. We have the collectively collect widely, the collection was really wide. Processing, which is the translation, the debate, the synthesization, and the distribution, which is teaching, writing, and preserving. So due to, of course, historical events, we have lost the Library of Alexandria. Actually, it didn't disappear in one blaze, as some historian, has, stated. It's actually over centuries, and because of war damages, we had like, the burn of the main, like a place where a lot of books, were stored. So we have lost a lot of knowledge from that, from the centuries they were before. The Serapeum, one of the libraries storehouses, they were destroyed. So also the murder of Hypatia, it symbolized the end of its scholarity, culture. So the practical impact were concrete. Aristotle's book on comedy was lost. Most of Livy's history were lost or damaged. Scientific and medical writing were like, lost. In nutshell, it's an entire branches of knowledge were lost, and those gaps never fully closed because it wasn't, part of a system as sophisticated as now as blockchain or whatever. So in a nutshell, what my point here, or like, the analogy that I'm trying to bring is the strength of the library and the grandiose of the library came from its diversity, the processes, not just like, the shelves on the library. And that's exactly, what take us like, to the, subjects that, the team behind Compassion AI choose to, to highlight during these sessions. Like, the preach today for AI is to be genuinely useful to the world. It needs the same ingredients, which is, diverse inputs, careful curation, and governance that prevents one perspective from dominating. The Alexandria library lesson is that cultural wisdom doesn't, just show up. It has to be intentionally gathered, represented by all, like, and inclusive by everyone on this earth in order to optimize the systems for the generation coming without disclosure of like, of any entities that they are not the majorities. So yeah, this is like, the lens that we want, like, to put today, now to the present and to the modern AI systems. I think modern AI systems, they have to be concrete and compress human text to, and like not a precedent, talk, because we have all the tools and all, like, the data to actually feed the AI. So having an AI biased based on like, an English system or based on like, the Western world, it's really not what's gonna make the next generation really happy about it. Because if we don't, feed the AI with all the, the creations layers from multiple cultures, including the broader ones, we might, see the collapse of, Alexandria happening again, and we might lose these languages that they are minorities forever just because we didn't include them in this new revolution. Concretely, and because I like numbers, this is what's exactly the problem here, the language divide. As you can see here, the distribution of training data is heavily biased and skewed. We have a huge English domination, far beyond its share of global speakers. Arabic, despite being among, for example, the most spoken languages in the world, sits under 1% of many open web corpora. Languages like Hausa or others barely register. That isn't just like an accuracy issue, it's like more a representation issue or an inclusion issue. So if a language isn't present in the corpus, in like its culture, idioms, and knowledge tradition are effectively absent from the system's output that we choose to put in the AI, that is a slow silence and death to these cultures electronically or digitally, which is the same analogy that I was trying to put for the losses that we have in the Alexandria library. These are like, sources, like, you can here see the sources. This is from the UNESCO data 2025. This is exactly the digital burning that, I was, talking about. So the question here is, what can we do differently? We already have working examples. Actually, I think, identifying the problem and acknowledging this lack of inclusion is very important. So I'm a person who likes action. This is why I wanted to put also like, what are the examples that we are working on, different groups from different, industries are working on. So first of all, there are like, community-led language projects, especially for the minority projects, building speech and text resources for underrepresented languages. The second are education programs where local teams design tools to document their culture and teach the next generation. And last but not least, it's art and research initiative that embed indigenous cultures and populations into how systems classify, relate, and generate content. So the pattern is actually, how to say it, consistent. When communities control data collection, consent, and have a form of governance, the technology kind of preserve rather than erase, right? So the practical takeaway is to fund actually these pipelines as core infrastructure. I think just like as the UNESCO, I'm not like, calling it like, it's more, thinking about it as the UNESCO preserve certain cultures and art. I think language in the era of AI is also as important as the physical art that we have, because that's the future of our human, I mean, like the brain of the humanity moving forward. yeah, so unity in diversity from a technical standpoint, broader and better labeled data across, as I have mentioned, like, the inclusion of dialects, for example, the nuances in the dialects. A lot of dialects, they change a lot with the cross culture as well, because a lot of dialects now, they are influenced by the new generation who are actually coming up with slangs. Like, in my own country, I can't even keep up with all the dialects coming up, like, from all the influence that it is happening in real time. So from also a social standpoint, diverse teams catch issues, monoculture misses, and doesn't mean uniformity. We don't want, like, the same things. It means just like systems that they are interoperate across difference, and so users are well served in their own language and context, not forced into the Western or, like, someone else, culture. So the call of action here is clear. We want unity in diversification. We want to be unified through all our differences and building our legacy as as we are building the digital era of our human brain. And that, concretely comes into data coverage, governance, and local capabilities. My last message, we're building, this is like, a call for everyone. Let's not just build AI, let's build a legacy for humanity. If you remember actually one idea today, let it be this. Technology is not just like a code, it is collective memory, and we are all responsible for what it remembers. The Library of Alexandria was humanity's first attempt to gather all knowledge in one place. Its destruction was tragedy. We still feel today. With AI, we have a second chance, but only if we ensure that all the voices are heard and all the cultures are preserved. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Manal. And I think you shed a light on an area which is really, really critical and very much overseen, in terms of the stuff. I come from a Nubian family, but we lost the language about 2 generations away. Meanwhile, my friends here, Waleed, mashallah, they practice the language on daily basis. So again, it depends upon so many factors. But again, with the whole impact of the IT and the training of all the public data, which is going to be over by 2027, the data scarcity will be much more severe than what we have today, and it will have much more impact on the minority, as you say, by completely eliminating those from the scene. The questions after that, which I asked to the panelists and everybody who's seen this, what would happen after that? Are we going to be in a loop of synthetic data that is like take us to live in the in the matrix, or are we going to take the burden to generate real content, and generate real legacy, like what our ancestors did? They used to travel like for years to write a book. So again, the question is open. It's very crucial because again, and I asked this question earlier, there are a couple of times now we start to get from these LLMs, they became like common, it's like, you are absolutely right, you are whatever, and all this stuff. And there was a study by Harvard University or some other university recently that people, they start to borrow such terms in their daily conversation. So are we going to produce a legacy of knowledge that can be preserved for the next generation, or we are going to be a replica of those models, which are basically statistical models you know, they could, if you do not get the quality of the input right, then everything will be a big mess. Taking it from here, I would like to welcome Anas Al-Mari. Anas is an old friend of mine. He's one of the OGs in the ecosystem in Dubai. And Anas has been working on content creation. He's been working particularly on supporting Arabic and original content generation. He's been working with LinkedIn. He's been working with several other stuff. I think this is his mission right now. I do not want to dilute the introduction, but Anas, the mic is yours. Introduce yourself and enlighten us about what you're going to share today.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. Manal, thank you so much for the inspiration and the insights that you have shared. I was checking LinkedIn while you were speaking, and I figured out we are already connected 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. Small word.
It's the first. It's like I said, okay, she's in Japan. Maybe I never came
Half of
across
the
her
time in
profile,
Dubai,
and I
so
was wrong.
yeah.
And I was
She's
wrong.
still working in Dubai. And she's fresh.
Yeah.
She was here last week. I don't know if flown back or is still here.
No, it
Well,
was 2 years ago, 20th of September, 2023. I checked the connection date, and
oh wow, I
I need
didn't
to
know there's
check. Yeah, I need to check what was the nexus in there, but obviously technology could be the nexus or one of the events. But yeah, thank you again, everyone. You know, we're gearing towards the end of this of the GCC and our region portion. So I thought of shift my gears rather than talking about technology. I will share a few personal success stories at work and with my students at the university and my own philanthropy life. So I thought this could be an enlightenment and assuring for myself and everyone. So by a mean of introduction, I run a digital marketing agency based in Dubai for the past 12 years. I wear many hats. One of them is an advisor to one of the royal family in the UAE. The second one is a corporate trainer and a government trainer. The third one is I'm a visiting lecturer at University of Dubai and a few other universities online, but University of Dubai, it's in person. And adding to that is my day-to-day philanthropy, which is now 110% focused for Syria after the change that happened, the positive change that happened in Syria, the liberation, call it whatever you like. Like people there needs a lot of philanthropy, AI, knowledge, technology. I'm not gonna mention money because it's obvious that we need money in there. So I would like to start with work and share how AI really helped transforming us at the company and the team. So, if you visit our website, you will see that we are a human-AI centered team. And people think that this, it's a buzzword. It's for us, it's not a buzzword, but maybe for a visitor it is. And for many others, it's not. And I'm happy to see that AI+Compassion website also use the same term, Waleed. So how we have done this human AI? 2 years ago, I approached someone. We were connected on Facebook as friends there. And I had a few chats with this person. And then she turned out to work at a university for 20 years, okay, at the dean office. And I invited her to work with us. She said, "You're an agency. I work at a university. Are you out of your mind? Like, there is no way that we can work together." And I told her, "Get a month sabbatical from the university, an unpaid leave, and you will get paid in this month. And then you would test the water. And after a month, I think you and I can make a verdict, and we either back to your university." Story short, today she's the technical director of our agency. And trust me, without the AI, she would never be able to reach this in 2 years. And you know, when you say that a technical director at an agency that needs a lot of management skills, technology skills, AI skills, managing the team, managing the client, orchestrating all this, it takes a lot. But this lady has used AI so efficient to the fact that she was promoted. Like, you know, within 2 years, she escalated all this, and she even took some extra courses, and now she became a support and a backbone for the designers, for the website designers. So that's one of the success stories of AI. People talking about AI day by night, and you know, we would love to see some real on-ground stories. So this is one of them. The second one, I would leave the agency and go to the University of Dubai, where I've been there teaching for 7 years. It's a diploma, professional diploma, where we teach almost anyone who has a few years of experience to enter the digital marketing arena, as well as practicing digital marketing. So we are 3 to 4 instructors, depends on our availability. And we help everyone, whether to switch to the new career or they are a marketeer, but they want, like, you know, to upgrade their skills. So recently, since the introduction of ChatGPT, Gemini, and when AI became commercialized and available for almost everyone who has an access to the internet and has an email, teaching has changed. You know, I was spending 6 lectures, which is 18 hours, to explain to the students or to the candidates, because they are postgrads and graduates. We were trying to explain to them strategy, whether it's a digital strategy or a social media strategy. That includes also the content, Waleed, that you've introduced me with. So rather than just talking about the strategy and implementing some part of it, with the AI, now we started. Let me explain some technicalities for you here. So I would challenge the candidates and tell them, without any knowledge, just ask the AI, just like any professional sitting behind the screen at their desk. Help me in generating a social media strategy for this brand or this company, etc. So this is a basic prompt that almost 99% of humans would ask the AI. And the results that you would get, it's absolutely generic, it's almost useless, and it will get you nowhere. And if you are speaking to a technical person, you will not reach anywhere of success with them. So that's scenario A. Scenario B, I tell them, okay, let's combine our human knowledge with the AI, and let's ask the AI more deeper question. Let's the AI guide the AI itself and guide us, and we guide both. The AI who guides the AI, and we guide both of them. And with that, we spend those 18 hours crafting the strategy that is generated by AI and fed with 50% human input. And trust me, the strategy that we generate out of this exercise can be sold in the market with 50,000 dirham. That transformation of weeks and months of work into 18 hours of a class, but we can do it definitely in probably 3 days at work, not in 6 lectures. So that's another way of implementing AI with getting tangible results. So my question to you and my call to action for everyone is, think of what you're doing on a daily basis, the same way that we used to do our strategy, and try to source the input for the AI rather than just asking the AI for a random stuff. We know like everybody knows how to use AI. I was speaking to my mom the other day, and dad mentioned he couldn't remember the exact name of ChatGPT. He's an old man, but he told me this AI thing that people are asking and answering, because I installed Alexa at my parents' house, and now both my parents, they prefer Alexa over any mobile, over any device. And you can connect all these devices to AI.
I'm not sure how to help you with that.
Then there you go. Alexa is responding to to mentioning her name right now. She's saying, "I'm not sure how to respond to this." So that's another way of dealing with AI. Speaking of education, when I looked at the agenda and AI compassion agenda and your ethos, I felt that there's a lot of spotlight for the ethics and the ethics of AI, and almost every day on LinkedIn and other social media platform, in our daily talk at the business or the cooler talk and the coffee talks, we mention the ethical part of AI. And here in Dubai, we have almost every conference speaking about that. I would look at this from another angle and ask everyone, and myself and my future kids and everyone around me, do you think it's ethical to teach kids 12 years at school and 4 years at university, and after that we ask them, well, you could use the AI? Do you think it's ethical going through the traditional route that all of us here have taken in the past, and now with the existence of AI? I keep asking myself and questioning my mind every single day. What is the remedy here? Should we collapse all those 16 years into 5 years, into 6 years, into 3 years, and then use this time in probably building robotics and learning other languages, mainly programming languages and so on? Could humanity change what Rockefeller has introduced to us 100 years ago and forced us into this, I would call it mafia-style education system? So that is something to think about and reflect. And I'm very happy to be living here in the UAE, where probably most of the world, 95% of the ministries of education around the world, they were totally against AI. But here in the UAE, 2 years ago, I think, as far as I remember, the Ministry of Education said, in 2 years' time, we are going to have AI teachers, and we are going to implement AI into our work. 2 years ago, I was in Oman for a training session with the leaders, future leaders for Oman government at the Sultan Academy. At the gala dinner, we met the dean of this Leaders Institute, the Royal Leaders Institute. And I asked him, Doctor, he's a full prof, and I asked him, what is the use of AI among your PhD candidates? He told me, Anas, every time that now we are going, since the evolution of ChatGPT and other platforms, he's splitting the teams into 2 teams. One team would use AI, and one team would write their own thesis. And he's confirming that those PhD candidates are getting way much better results with AI, more accurate, and they're learning more. And the donkey work is done by the AI. So that's another way.
Actually, Anas, again, you mentioned a very interesting point regarding the learning, like what we call the broom work way. And as a programmer, anybody who has been in software engineering before, you learn hard code like nothing, like nothing. And then after that, you don't hard code at all. Right now, my daughter, and thank you for facilitating this early enough. She's doing maths and AI in Sorbonne. and she come complaining every day. Is like, they teach us the thing is so boring, it's so whatever and all, and they don't allow us to do the AI agents and stuff like that. I told her, see, if you have a car, that doesn't mean you have to stop learning how to walk. It's like we are in an arena where there is a trend right now. It's moving a lot and all. And as Manal said, we don't want to be we don't want to have a black switch incident where we'll take the whole civilization back, and that time they don't know how to write and they don't know how to use papers and stuff like that. And then you can see the impact today in anybody who's using the AI big time. You see the impact on their spelling and their in their the way they do stuff and all. We've got one more session, so I just give you 1 minute to wrap. Yeah, Anas, it's been very exciting discussion and all, but we want to be mindful because we have to hand over the stage in 15 minutes. But that has been very enlightening.
Thank you. I would drop in definitely 1 minute. Thank you, Ihab Murtada, for shedding some light on this. Definitely, I absolutely agree and align with you. But again, I am 100% sure that we can cut those 16 years into 8 years, for say. And remember, we are in the same situation when they invented the car, and those people, they were saying, no, the horse is better. So we either stick to the horse or to the car. My final thought and call to action, and following with Manal, and she said, let's leave some legacy. I remember, Waleed, 7 years ago, or maybe earlier, I went to Arostumani to fix my car, and they didn't have internet. So I had 4 hours to wait for my car to be fixed, and there was no internet. So I sat there, I wrote a book, 16-page book, without Googling any single word or a question. There was no AI. Now with the AI, I would call myself and remind myself to get that book that I wrote, okay, and feed it to the AI and make it as a structured book to be an ebook and to be published there. And it's free. I've never published it. It was only giving in one-to-one consultation sessions and so on. But now I'm thinking of, okay, it's time for the AI to help me in that. So that's the legacy. Think of philanthropy and how can AI help you. Creating a core video and asking the AI to replicate this video of myself for a philanthropy work to help Syrian youth find a better economic opportunities. So the floor is yours. There's so much to do. Thank you, Waleed, and thanks.
I think that's a good closing with a call for action to support the Syrian youth. I will introduce my second speaker, Mr. Muhammad Usman. Mr. Muhammad, he's been an old friend of mine. We've been working in several parts, and right now we're working in different engagement in Saudi Arabia, UAE, and others. Mr. Muhammad, he specializes in risk management, regulatory, and he's coming from telecom background. So Muhammad, the floor is yours. You've got 10 minutes, and then we have 2 minutes to wrap and hand the stage.
Yeah, thank you very much, Waleed, and distinguished guest for this opportunity. It's been a very tremendous opportunity to go through this learning, and discussing the AI compassion. I have some slides to share with you. So just if you can just confirm that it's visible. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah.
So a little bit of my background. I've been working as an advisor for risk management, as Waleed mentioned. We've been working together in many projects. This is my career path, where I do advisory and risk management. But out of that, I've grown interest in innovation and digital transformation initiatives, and I have this passion about innovation, creating new ideas and vision for technologies, being a background, having a background in technology. So from those two walls, like in the part of the innovation where you want to explore new things, do new things, exploring new ideas, and my day job on the resilience, where you need to protect the companies failing out, managing the risk of these companies and all. From both of those two, I mean, it's kind of similarities where they both lack of, trust. When people talk about innovation, anyone, it's not yet predicted. You don't know whether this is going to be fail or it's not visible whether this innovation is really going to be implemented, right? In its early ideas, and the same looks at risk and resilience and all. So from both of the two walls, I think compassionate AI is crucial to build that harmonized innovation resilience through the ethics and building the trust of both the opportunities that need to flourish and the risks that might impact the users. And serving in the telcos, there's lots of cases when compassionate AI, an AI that understand emotions, I would say, and react to that emotion would serve the community and would serve the business purpose as well. So imagine that, a telecom outage, and this is part of the resilience that we are doing every day. We are trying to avoid telecom outages as part of my career. Imagine if the AI could predict it, and this is already been implemented and been explored in the industry, in the telecom industry as well, and many other industries. So imagine that these outages would be predicted and would be communicated to the customer in advance. And sharing these kind of, compassionate messages with the users and with the audience to make it more or less, I would say, impactful. Working in the telecom is very sensitive when it comes to user experience, and this is been shifting very much with the AI in that space. In healthcare, lots of participants before me has talked about the healthcare and how the AI would shape the face of AI, the chatbots, and how they communicate with humans, how they are avoiding pandemics as well. So the use case is very robust in here to build the trust with the patient and with the users. Also in finance, in credit and loans and everything, that plays a significant role, making an AI agent that understand the feeling of people, providing loans that tailor to their needs or try to claim credits that tailor to their need. That's also something would come to play very soon. We understand that the challenges being discussed by the participant were very valid. The cultural resistance, the data ethics, and the bias of the AI, the trust gap, and also when it comes to the trust of the AI itself to be trusted to communicate the right messages, and from various views on the industry, we know this is just a step. And like my colleagues before me, he mentioned that if you ask the audience what they want, either a car or a horse, they would say the horse is fair because that's what they know, right? But if we go back to the essence of the bias in AI, that was already been well rooted in the cognitive biases of people as well. I will recall here the Daniel Kimani book on cognitive bias, in which he provided an insight in 2011 on how the brain would work and how these biases might be very obvious and spotted innocently. And he provided lots of insights on how brain works. And he won a Nobel Prize on that implementation of cognitive bias in various industries, including economics and all. And just to recall here, one of the cognitive biases that's some of the corporate executive or employees are using, like the confirmation bias, to pushing, for example, new projects or new initiatives within the organization. They tend to collect the information that support only their idea and neglecting the other point of view that's provide the counterpart part argument.
If we can wrap with the next slide, that will be good because they want
Yeah, sure.
to wrap and close.
Sure.
now.
I mean, this is the last slide for sure.
Okay.
I mean, coming from the well rooted, let's say, cognitive bias within human brain, this will be solved sooner. The corporate value, in my own belief, will be enhanced, including the innovation drive for competitiveness and the resilience to ensure quality and with the help of AI to build a trust. So this is just the final thought on that. The compassionate AI will serve as an essential bridge to transform rapid innovation into reasonable disruption by embedding ethics, empathy, inclusivity, and this is what I feel it looks like in the future. So thank you for this.
Thank you very much, Muhammad. Thank you very much, and I would like to thank our fellow panelists. And I leave you with one thought. I'm just sharing one major slide. If you can, one slide, yeah, Muhammad, if you can take it off. Just switch. Just close the sharing, Muhammad. Okay, so thank you very much. It's been very enlightening, very intense. And I'd like to thank their organizers, John Soto, Chris, Debo, and everybody for such an enlightening opportunity. And I will leave you with one question. This question, I have been involved in the ITU focus group to provide the regulation for self-driving cars about 3 years ago. And the whole research for almost 2 years is about the Molly problem. So Molly is a young girl called Molly crossing the road alone and hit by an occupied self-driving vehicle. There is no eyewitness. So this research has debated a lot of ethical and impact that need to be answered before relying fully on such a mission critical, AI deployment like self-driving car. So they have been, I would advise, like, guys, this is a publicly available information. So there have been many problems, let's see, 97% expect the software to be aware of the collision, to unsure, I don't, then expect the software to stop at the collision site, don't hit and run, sort of stuff, 94, and expect the software to indicate a hazard to other road users, and then expect the software to alert emergency service and so on. So here, I mean, these are actions that can be done by any person who's compassionate enough, to understand that there's a situation here. But when it's come to a statistical model that we discuss and talk to every day and interact with, it still has not developed this emotional, compassionate nature. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure producing this call. Thank you to everybody, and I hand it over to Debo for the next chapter.
Thank you so much. Well, what an amazing session, amazing panel, and very much different types of perspective that came from the GCC and the Europe. Very well done. Yeah. And 3 hours it went in that flow.
Yeah, it's good. It's very intense. I really love it. So maybe we can hand it. I think it's Africa right now, Dr. Lee. Yeah. So the stage is yours. I will just retire from here.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
You set a new benchmark for the
Thank you.
for the regional chapters, and that is very high. Thank you so much for that amazing work. Yeah.